Hi, it's Crazy Monkey here again. All right, so this is that Yahoo Finance article I was just telling you about. It's from Business Insider. It's basically what Americans pay in state income tax, and California is the highest tax state in the country when it comes to state income tax. Their sales tax is also sky high. Their property tax is also sky high because their housing prices are sky high as well. California is basically a third world country where the filthy rich elites, the techie elites, the liberal leftist elites, government bureaucrats, they make just massive amount of money. And then you have a state, California, where the poor, the working class have just been devastated. And then they flood it with massive amounts of illegal immigrants to lower the wages, massive amount of illegal immigrants to basically create a slave labor workforce at the bottom. It's a typical socialist country. I mean, this is how they work. I mean, this is how they work in Latin America, Venezuela. You know, this is how socialism works. You create a giant underclass. You then tell that underclass, keep voting for the Democrat Socialists, keep voting for the socialist parties, and we'll give you more food stamps, we'll give you more welfare, we'll give you more free stuff. And then that underclass just keeps voting for the, Democrats or the Socialist Party, and they never get ahead. They just stay poor. They just stay poor. They stay poor. And then the filthy rich elites at the top, the politicians at the top, the techie CEOs at the top, the billionaire elites at the top, they just get richer and richer and richer. They use zone restrictions, so their house prices skyrocket, so they just get richer and richer and richer. And then the poor people can never get ahead. And they just basically stay stuck in poverty, keep voting for the stupid Democrat socialist system, thinking they're going to get ahead, and they never do. It's such a scam. It's such a scam. I heard it best once. I think it was on the Alex Jones show, where he basically said socialism, the Democrat Socialist Party, is like, it's like a drunk going into a casino, and they keep losing and they keep losing and they keep losing, but they just keep gambling more and they keep double downing at the casino, keep thinking they're going to win all their money back, and they never do. They just keep losing and losing and losing. That is exactly how socialism works. That is exactly how it works. So here we have another article from Breitbart. Let me just give you the link real quick, and then I want to talk about this. And this, I guess, will be part 7 of my blog, although actually this part of the blog I'm going to basically be talking about socialism. I'm not really going to be talking about immigration as much, although immigration ties into socialism. So this is Breitbart. And so this is an article about this Twitter CEO praises article calling for new civil war in which Republicans are destroyed. So basically this CEO just said he wants the Democrat Party to basically control the country just like it does in California, and then for the Republican Party to collapse. That's basically what he's endorsing. So you can read this article. I'm not going to read it all, but I'll just explain it. I'll just explain it in just a minute. Let me just explain it real quick. So basically, you look at a lot of these techies, you look at a lot of these liberals, you look at a lot of these billionaires, and they really want the Democrat Party to control this country. And they want to turn this whole country into California. That's their system. They want to flood this country with 100 million illegal immigrants. They want to flood this country with 50 million, 100 million, Islamic refugees, different immigrant groups. And then they want to use those people as a giant low-wage slave labor workforce. In the gig economy, low-wage, minimum wage jobs, that's basically their system. And then they use the socialist left to basically get those people on the bottom to keep voting for the socialist at the top with the promise of more welfare, more guaranteed income checks, free child care, all these different socialist promises. And the reality is the more you vote for it, the more poor you get. That's how it works. The gig economy, which is done by a lot of these tech companies, they're creating this gig economy. Most of these gig jobs are terrible. They're horrible. They're ultra low wage. A lot of these people on these gig jobs can't basically survive. So the tech CEOs, they actually want a guaranteed income check, like $500 or $1,000 per person, because then they can create their gig economy. They know the people on the gig economy can't survive on those gig wages, which are ultra low because you're independent contractors. You're not protected by labor laws, so a lot of times these gig jobs pay way less than minimum wage. So these tech CEOs, these billionaire elite tech CEOs, they know that their gig workers cannot survive on that, so they want to create this guaranteed income check so then they can survive on that gig job. But it's the tech CEO that makes all the money, because he's charging these gig workers 20, 30% commission, 20, 25, 30% commission. So if the tech CEO gets millions of people in the gig economy, and he's getting 25, 30% commission, he's gonna get to be a multi-billionaire. He's gonna get to billions and billions of dollars in wealth. Now, those wages in those gig jobs are so low that people can't survive. So then the tech CEO's solution is to give those people guaranteed income checks and say it's redistribution of the wealth from the rich to the poor. But in reality, it's all BS, because when you look at how they want to do it, the tech CEOs, they want to do it like with, they say, I was reading something where they want to do it with a value-added tax, but that would basically be a tax mostly on the middle class, all right? And the billionaire CEOs would pay very little of that, all right? So they would just get richer and richer off the low wages of these gig workers. And then meanwhile, the gig workers would barely survive. Even with the guaranteed income check, they would barely be able to survive. But then it's the middle class that would get totally gutted, because they would have to pay higher taxes with this value-added tax. You know, all their system, when you look at it, it's all about gutting the middle class, bleeding the middle class dry, getting rid of the middle class, and then shifting all that wealth to the filthy rich elites via the welfare poor. That's the key, via the welfare poor. So what happens is the welfare poor will get stipends of $500,000, they'll get welfare food stamps, but then all that money eventually trickles back up to the filthy rich elites. That's exactly how it works. The filthy rich elites want to pay slave labor wages. They want to create this gig economy of ultra low wages. People can't survive, so they have to get subsidies from the government to survive. Those subsidies are paid for by massive taxes that gut the middle class, destroy the middle class, and then meanwhile all that money trickles back up into the hands of the filthy rich elite CEOs at the top and the billionaire techies at the top. That's exactly how their system works. And that's why they want to flood our country with hundreds of millions of immigrants, because they want to use them as a slave labor gig economy workforce. You know, when you really study this system, their socialist system, it's really, really sick. And I truly feel sorry for a lot of the immigrants, because they're just being brought in here to be low-wage slaves. You go to California, you're going to pay $1 million for a house. So if you're in a gig economy job, you're in a minimum wage job, you ain't buying $1 million house. You know what you're going to live in? You're going to live in a 200 square foot micro studio prison cell apartment, and that's their system. And a lot of tech CEOs are on record as supporting micro studios all throughout this country. They want to just have micro studios everywhere, because that's their system. They want to destroy the family. This is the system of the socialist elites at the top. They want to destroy the family, socialist politician elites at the top, and the socialists in these universities. They want to destroy the family. They want to get everybody separate, single, lonely, and miserable. All right, sell you their stupid products that you don't need, you know, and then meanwhile, you will not be able to afford a house, because their system is to make the house prices astronomical. All right, that's what they do. Look at California, look at San Francisco, look at all the liberal leftist cities. They're the ones with the astronomical house prices. That's their system. They do it with zone restrictions. They do it with all their liberal leftist policies. They make the house prices astronomical. You can't afford a house, you're going to live in a micro studio. All right, you're going to be happiness and slavery. That's their socialist leftist system. You're going to live in a little 200 square foot prison cell apartment. It's going to be called eco-friendly. It's going to be called eco-wonderful. And it's all just happiness and slavery. It's all a socialist scam. And then meanwhile, the tech CEOs at the top, they're going to have like 50 billion, 100 million, $200 billion net worth. These filthy rich socialist politicians at the top, they're going to have like 50 million, $100 million net worth. They're going to live in palaces. They're going to have just every luxury you can imagine, and then you're going to live in a 200 square foot prison cell apartment in a country just overrun by 200-300 million immigrants that are going to come here in the next 40, 50 years. This is their plan. Turn the country into 600-700 million people. This country's going to collapse into like Bangladesh, India. We're going to be a dirt poor country. It's just sick. It's just so sick. And I just want to say, you know, I'm going to take this blog in a different direction pretty soon, and I want to basically tell people how you can avoid being a slave, how you can avoid living in a 200 square foot micro studio apartment, how you can avoid going to college, getting some stupid degree, going $50,000 in debt, how you can avoid falling for their pension trap, investing your money in the stock market, losing all your money. I'm going to tell you how to avoid all their traps. All right, I'm going to explain to you how to avoid it, how to like move to middle America, real America, get a house for a cheap price, start your own business, start making money, getting out of their system, because their system is a prison system where they want you in a micro studio, they want you single, celibate, and lonely, and miserable your entire life. That's their system, and I'm gonna tell you how to escape their system and be successful. It's basically take it back to the 1950s. Economically, that's what it's all about. It's about having a family, so you have two people, you have yourself and your spouse to rely on. It's all about buying a house in real America where the prices are cheap. It's about starting your own business, not being a part of their slave system. And definitely don't want to get one of those micro studios in San Francisco or Seattle. You definitely don't want to go that slave system route. You definitely don't want to go to their stupid universities to learn about their communism and their socialism, and then wind up in San Francisco, Seattle, in your happiness in slavery, 200 square foot micro studio apartment, paying you $50,000 in student loan debt, working for one of their jobs 70, 80 hours a week as a total slave, happiness in slavery, living in your micro studio. You definitely don't want to go that route.